So we'll talk about the flags one more time to show you some additional example. So let's recall that the condition code register where we have all the flags, and so far we talked about the N flag, Z flag, V flag, and C flag, right? And these are the flags we have been working on. Now I'm skipping all the details of all these flags because I'm assuming we already know about the flags, we tried those. But let's recall some of the very important information we have about the V flag. Remember, the V flag was probably the most exciting one. So the V flag works with the addition and subtraction. You know that how, there are cases when the V flag is set based on the addition and subtraction, but we have plenty of other operations which are not addition, not subtraction. In those cases, this is a very simple formula which works. Based on the N flag and C flag, you can determine what will be the status of the V flag. Now let's recall again. V flag will be set, either N flag or C flag is set in operations other than addition and subtraction. Now that means, as you remember, this is an exclusive OR operation. That means the exclusive OR gives you high when both of the inputs are different. That means if N flag is set, C flag is cleared, or N flag is clear, C flag is set, then V flag should be set. But don't forget, we are still following the same rules that we had in the previous lecture for addition and subtraction, right? All the rules that we know about the addition subtraction still apply. This is the formula which work only in cases where the operation is not an addition, not a subtraction. Okay? We already talked about this. I'm just trying to remind you. Okay? Now, again, we already talked about this, but I want to make sure we remember. Do all the instructions affect these 4 flags, N, Z, V, and C? The answer is no. How do I know how do I know which flags are affected by which instruction? Of course, I know from my instruction set. So how do I know it? I always go to my instruction set and I check the last 4 columns in the instruction set. Okay? Now this is how I check. If there is a small triangle, I know that the flag is affected by the instruction, and we go by the rule. If there is a dash or hyphen, that means flag is not affected by the instruction. If there is a 0, that means regardless of the outcome of the instruction, this flag will always be cleared by this instruction. Okay? If there is a 1, that means regardless of the outcome of the operation, this flag will always be set by the instruction. Let me show you some quick ones here. So I just, I'm just showing you a snapshot of 2 of the instructions that we have from the instruction set. As you can see here, for an example, this is an AND A instruction. You see N flag, for N flag there is a triangle. That means N flag is affected by this instruction, meaning you know the rule for the N flag, right? Meaning if the answer is negative, then N flag is set. So Z flag is also affected by this instruction. That means if the answer is all 0, meaning absolute 0, then Z flag is set, right? Otherwise it's cleared. But V flag will always be cleared by this instruction, no matter what is the outcome of the instruction. No matter what happens in the instruction, meaning if you have this instruction, no matter what happens, V flag will always be cleared because we have it here. Okay? And you see the C flags, there is a hyphen or dash. That means regardless of what happens in the instruction, C flag will remain unchanged. Now what do I mean by unchanged? Because think about this, before this instruction, C flag might have been set, so it will still remain set. Or C flag might have been cleared, it will still be cleared, meaning no change. That's what I'm saying. Same is here. If you see here, this is another instruction, COM-B. I'm just showing you here. So for an example, N flag is triangle. That means N flag will be affected, Z flag will be affected. Look at the V flag. Anytime you run the COM-B, that means this flag, meaning no matter what happens, V flag will remain cleared, meaning will be cleared. Okay? And C flag will be always set. See, these are some exceptions because we know that C flag is always set by, when you have a carry or you have a borrow. But what happens if you are not doing an addition or you are not doing a subtraction? Because you can have a carry only when you are doing an addition, right? Or you can have a borrow when you are doing a subtraction. But this is not an addition, right? Of course. This is sort of a subtraction, but it's a little different kind, right? This is a subtraction, different kind. But as you can see, we always check the 4 columns before we determine. In the previous lecture, we talked about the flags, we talked about all of these, but we have not probably explored all different variations of the flag examples. Now we'll be actually exploring all of those. Let me show you some quick examples. Now let's say instead of just doing addition and subtraction, we look at the code, okay? Now let's say I'm given these 2 lines of instruction. And then I have to answer which flags will be cleared or set after we are done with these 2 instructions. Now let's look at the first line. You are loading C0 into accumulator B, right? And then you are doing an arithmetic shift left in the B, right? So this is what you are given. This is what you have, C0. So now this is my C0, right? 1100 is my C. And then the rest is 0. So that's my C0 in binary. I wrote in binary so that I can show you the shifting. Now here is what happens after we are done with the shifting. What happens is you actually push a 0 from the right side, and you move all the bits one position to the left, and then the most significant bit actually goes to the carry. Okay? Now from here, again, I'm just showing you this because this is not an addition, this is not a subtraction, something else. So what will be the flags? Just look at the number. From the number I can tell my negative flag will be set, right? Because this is a negative number, right? How can I tell this is a negative number? Check the most significant bit right now. This is a negative number, right? My Z flag is 0 because the answer is not absolute 0, right? So that is not absolute 0. I know that. My C flag is 1. How can I tell? Because think about this. I can tell just from this one, right? Because my C flag, I pushed a 1 to C flag. Even if this was not an addition, this was not a subtraction, still my C flag is set. So that's what I was trying to show you, that is not the case, that the C flag, this is a little bit confusing sometimes because this doesn't go by the name, because the name of the C flag is carry flag. I'm saying this is not actually coming from the carry. This is carry, but it's coming from, coming in different way than the addition or subtraction, right? Again, the V flag. Now, this is not an addition, this is not a subtraction, so we'll go by the rule. What is the rule? Rule for the V flag is N exclusive or C. So I already know what is my N. My N is 1. My C is also 1. And my operation is exclusive OR. Remember, exclusive OR gives you high when both of the inputs are different, opposite. Now they are not opposite, they are same, right? So the outcome is 0. So I know that my V flag will be 0. So this is how I can always determine what will be the flags, even if the instruction is not an addition, not a subtraction. Okay? Let me show you another quick example. Now here are my 2 lines. In the first line, I'm loading E9 into accumulator A, and second line I'm doing COM A. Now let me show you what happens. I just did everything at once because this is like, easy for us. So this is my E9 here. So I probably need to fix this a little bit. Let me fix it. All right, now here is my E9. So in binary bits. So according to the COM A, what we do is we subtract A from FF. That's what we are, that's what we have in column 3, right? And then we store the result into A again. So we are exactly doing the same. This is my FF, and this is what I have in accumulator A right now. E9, I subtracted, so I should have 1/6, right, after the subtraction. So since I have 1/6 after the subtraction, that will be what I should have in my A, right? So this is my 1/6, right? 0001, that's my 1, and that's my 6. Now, how do you determine what will be the flags? This is how we determine the flags. If I look at the flag, I know for sure this is not a negative number, right? So N flag, because this bit is 0, so N flag is 0. This is not an absolute 0, so the 0 flag is also cleared, right? How do I know the carry flag? See, there is no clue what will be the carry flag, but I know the carry flag from the instruction set. Because if you check your instruction set, for COM A, the carry flag is always set. So even if I don't have the clue from the operation, I know. That's why I marked a static here, just to show that you know that I'm getting it from the set of instruction set. Okay, last 4 columns. Now, remember the V flag. How we calculate the V flag? We calculate the V flag from N flag and C flag. Okay. Now this time I plugged my N here, I plugged my V here, and I see that those are 0 and 1. So that according to the exclusive OR, I should have a 1 here, right? But here is an exception. According to the instruction set, this should be 0. So the answer is actually 0, not 1. So I wanted to make sure you see that even if my formula tells that I should have an 1 here, this will actually be cleared because of how the instruction set is defined. Okay. Now remember, the instruction set supersedes everything. I'm saying if anything is there in the instruction set, we always go by that. Okay. So even if my formula tells me that this should be 1, I know that this should be 0. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to show you the calculation just to show you that even if my calculation said I should have a 1 here, this will be actually 0 because of the last 4 columns I have. Okay. Now, if we'll be again exploring some more additional example. I'm saying so one more additional quiz on flags. In this quiz, every question you'll be actually given a couple of lines of instruction, just like the ones you have seen in this quiz, in this lecture. So every the question you'll be just asked what will be the flags. But make sure this time it will be a little bit different because you have to go by all the rules and then go by the exceptions. Also check the instruction set. Okay, because now we are pretty much in every single instructions possible with the flags. Okay. Let me stop this presentation now. This is a very quick and a small presentation, and this only covers one single quiz. Okay, but we still need to understand and try the quiz because we want to understand how the flags are set and cleared in operations other than addition and subtraction.